Thank y'all for joining. This is the G Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and everything else. This is the G Podcast, and today we got a special guest. Al Jackson is in the building. We getting right to it. Yes, indeed. Once again, y'all give it up. This is the G Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and everything else. This is the G Pod. Al, thank you so much for joining, man.
What's up, man? I appreciate you having me, man. What's been good with you, man? I like this show's popping, man.
I appreciate you for joining, man. And if I'm being honest, like I've known you from growing up in Durham, of course, but I don't think we really had like a conversation probably since high school, if I'm being honest. I don't know if we connected since then, so I'm looking forward to this. And so I just want to get started with high school. Like, actually, I want to start with Githens. I'm just curious if you got one or two memories, because Githens was like a reality show back in those days. If you got one or two memories from Githens that just you'll never forget, do you mind just sharing like what your most memorable moments from Githens might be?
Githens, man. I got so many memories from Githens. It was a traumatic experience. Middle school was crazy, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, let me think. Githens, something. I mean, I got in fights at Githens. I mean, I messed with girls at Githens, played football at Githens, ran track at Githens. I mean, good experience. Running track, we won. I think we got like third place in the 4x200. I wasn't even supposed to be running in that. I was supposed to be running a mile, and the coach got me switched up and some other stuff, and got in there. I'll say another just memory from Githens, playing football, like rolling around in the mud, drinking the muddy water, and just like we were just savages out there, you know what I'm saying? Middle school football, like they were treating us like we were soldiers, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. That like parents wouldn't stand for that shit right now. Like they probably wouldn't. Our parents didn't give a damn. They're like, our parents were out there watching them do that shit. Like we were getting sprayed. They spray painted kids if they didn't want to hit. Like spray painted them yellow, call them yellow bellies, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Yeah, Githens was definitely like looking back, like it was just a different a lot of like young folks being grown at Githens Middle School, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was. You had that experience. You had a lot of that. Girls getting pregnant in middle school. That was crazy. It was just different, man. You had a lot of stuff. Like it was, it was an interaction. Durham was changing like right there at that middle school time too. Like it was 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Right then you had like, the Y2K stuff, it just went down, but
right.
You also had like the influence of gangs coming through right then at that time, you know what I'm saying? During that middle school time, like real, like it got kind of real then, I saw like, I saw somebody get shot during that time, like in middle school, not at Githens, but during that time in middle school. it was just, you know, Durham was changing right then. Like it was a crazy time. Like couple of people my sister, you know, grew up with. I mean, well, I guess you could say we grew up with. Um, you know, they got killed uh, in Durham, and you
Hmm.
know, it was crazy. Like things just happening. You know, a lot of stuff. So
It definitely was like just looking at those years, man, like so impressionable, transformative, you know, in your opinion, what kind of helped you stay the course, if you will, and avoid certain, long-term things that or things that lead to long-term consequences?
I mean, I mean, you know, it's the cliche, of course, having a father and you know a black father in the household, but it's the truth. You
Mm.
know, you know, my pops, you know, talked to me about gangs and stuff like that, and you know, we went around and you know we interacted with them through church as well too, because you know my father was a pastor, so I think also you know the church influence um, kept me out, and you know having a father that came from you know that kind of background uh, in Cleveland, you know Cleveland, growing up in Cleveland, Ohio, and just like again, you know, showing some of those experiences to me, not necessarily showing the experiences, but you know, sharing the experiences with me, and then you know, taking me to some of the places and things like that. Um, that I think that kind of you know influenced me, and you know, just I really just you know believe God kept me away from a lot of that stuff. Like it was a lot of times where like I could have been in places, you know, was supposed to be in places, and
Yep.
you know things you know went a certain way, and I wasn't there, and you know again like it was life changing type stuff, you know, a lot of times like so. You know, I don't know if you remember the that pool party at Hillside. I mean, well, not at Hillside, but with you know a bunch of Hillside students,
Hmm. Hmm.
and you know I got invited out there to that night. But again, you know, who's to say that you know anything would happen to me that night? But you know, that was a eventful night for you know a lot of people, and you know,
Hmm.
um, you know, just lots of things, man. You know,
Yeah, like I've always said that growing up, it's like a
yeah,
roll of the dice almost.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Growing up, you know, growing up. That's really what you know. Things like that, and I just like some stuff. You know, you remember, and you just kind of say like, God, you know, thank you. That's all I gotta say about you know. That's all I gotta say about some stuff. You know, back then.
No
Um,
question. You got to be grateful, and it's kind of crazy how like just the environment, even though you know the household is one thing, but the environment is something else. And that time growing up, like the environment was definitely like raising us. we
yeah, you know, I feel like that too. And I also had my sisters. I was thinking about that too. Just as I'm
mm,
talking about that, my sisters, they came through a lot of times. You know, with advice and you know just experience sometimes because you know even though it was a girl, it was girls. You know, they was telling me different stuff. You know, but at the same time, they were keeping me away from you know certain influences because they already were hip to it. You know what I'm saying? Like
so
having older sisters. You know.
did having those older sisters make you more lethal at an early age? Did it make you more like did you understand the young woman's mind? Did you feel like did you feel like you had a upper hand in like the sport of of courting, if you will, just how you talk to young ladies because you had older sisters giving you game? Did you feel like it really gave you a boost?
I don't think so. I don't think I realized it. I don't think I realized, you know, the. I don't think I realized what I was learning or gaining experience wise from my sisters until I got, uh, probably really to college, and
Mm,
even then, like it's just early. It's your sisters. You know what I'm saying? They ain't give you game. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and dealing with my sisters, I dealt with multiple women. Just because of the girls coming in and out of the house.
mm,
Their friends. Their friends were like sisters, I guess you could say.
mm-hmm,
Um, you know, like I recall many times, it being like groups of like 7, 8 girls or whatever, and I'm having to get them drinks and like that or whatever, and then the next thing, they're like, "Oh, your little brother cute," what I'm saying, and then I
yeah.
gotta say, that, whatever. But I'm still 7, 8 year. I'm six. Well, really 6, 7 years younger than my sisters.
So when you say
So
Drakes, you talking like Capri Suns,
yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I'm saying soldiers and stuff like
Just
that
for
or
the
whatever.
record, yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Not nothing like that. Nothing like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know.
Sunny D.
Yeah, Sunny, exactly. Tang and stuff like that.
Hey, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Word. Like, all right. So one
I
of the
never
things,
asked you. Are you an only child? You got big brothers, sisters?
I'm my mom's only child,
Okay, okay,
but I do have siblings. So I got siblings on my father's side. I got a brother and sister, and I grew up in a household with siblings. When my mom married my stepdad,
okay.
and so I grew up with three stepbrothers. But I just call them brothers and
I
a
got you.
sister,
I
stepsister.
got you.
So
So
yeah,
it's a house of four.
yeah.
Well,
Like
five.
around like
Five
fourth
kids.
fourth grade, I started living in the same household with my
With all of
when my
them.
mom got married. And yeah, so my brothers, we were all in the same space. So yeah, that's when I grew up, an only child basically till fourth grade, and it was just me and my mom basically.
Mhm.
And then when she got married, I went from only child to sharing that same room with two older
Everybody.
kids that were twins, and it was like a complete life shift. Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, we was
So
tight. We was
that's
tight. We was tight in that. We stayed in Colonial, and we had the two
okay.
bedroom at the top.
Hey
And
man, I used to
when
love Colonial, yo.
yeah, see, so
We ain't ever. So my cousin Brand stayed at Colonial when we were young.
who
My cousin Brandon Reed, B Reed.
Reed was in Colonial?
Back in the day. I'm talking
I
about
mean,
when
I
we
was
was.
there from kindergarten to college, bro. So like,
So it was probably kindergarten to like maybe second or third grade or something, like maybe not
that's
even probably like maybe second kindergarten to maybe like second grade or something like that. Because I remember they moved and he started going to Forest View
Forest
for a little,
View.
for a
Yeah,
minute. Started going to Forest View for a little minute, and then he came to Southwest.
that's crazy. I had B Reed on and no clue this lived in Colonial. That is
No
crazy,
mention
man. No
of
mention of it, man.
it.
Yo, that is
Say that
crazy.
Durham. What I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo, this
So
was a
yeah,
Colonial, crazy.
yeah.
So like, yo, growing up in Colonial is like, so it was me and my mom there for quite a few years, and then when she got married, they came and stayed there, and so I was staying with three stepbrothers at that time, and
Mhm.
my oldest stepbrother just had the living room as the
As
bedroom.
his lair.
Yeah, at night
Yeah.
that couch had a sheet on it, and there was a pallet, and it was like that was his room. You know what I'm
Dang.
saying? And
Yeah.
then we had the room upstairs. I'm sharing that with two twins or a set of twins. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, these eating all the snacks. It's like you go from being an only child to actually learning have to like how to
Yeah,
share.
like
Bro,
really
this is back
learning
in
how
the
to
day where
share.
like with the phone, like
Yeah,
it was a house phone and wasn't answering beeps. They was caking on the phone, wouldn't click over. Like you was lucky to even get a call in here or there. Everybody trying to do their little thing over here. Like those were
man.
some days, boy. Those were some
Yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah. Telling you, man.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I grew up with
so I ain't had
siblings.
to. I ain't had to. Well, you know what I'm saying? We ain't really fight over snacks too much at the crib. But like the bathroom,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, the girls, man,
Mm.
you know, sharing a bathroom with two girls, man, man,
Yeah, nah.
I
See,
tell you.
that's valuable. That's valuable insight at an early
But
age.
see, I know, and then I turned around, and then I got three daughters. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's like you're gonna be still sharing the bathroom with girls for like the rest of your life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like I
you
mean
already
it is
well
what it is.
equipped. Yep.
You know.
So tell me this, because growing up, I knew for sure. Um, like I've always credited the friend group that I had in high school and just that Jordan environment for how I even ended up in college. If I would have went to a different high school, I don't know like what college would have looked like for myself because at Jordan, for example, it was like very normal. You graduate and people
And
are
you go to
going to
college and you
college.
go to college. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even like in our high school class, I don't know if you know or remember this, but we had at the time the largest graduating senior class in DPS, and it was like roughly over 400
Yeah.
students that
It was like
graduated.
I remember it was like 450.
Yeah, and
It was like 450.
over 100 had above a 4.0. Whereas if you were, no disrespect, at Hillside or Southern and you had like a 3.6, you might have been top, I want to be generous and say 50, but like you might have been top 10 with a 3.8 at different schools potentially. And that's what I mean by Jordan being like a different kind of environment, right?
Oh man.
And for me,
Extremely competitive.
extremely competitive. And I knew I at least wanted to try to leave Durham to go to school. So
Okay.
tell me this, going to Central, having grown up in Durham, did you want to go to Central? Or if not, like why did you end up going? And then like what is it like going there having grown up in Durham?
So just backdrop my so like Central, my mother went to Central. She graduated in '74. My uncle graduated from North Carolina Central in law school in like 92, 93 or something like that. You know, had an aunt, Central Law School,
Mm,
um, aunt, another aunt, you know, North Carolina Central graduate. Uh, my sister, she graduated from North Carolina Central. So, like, honestly, I really didn't want to go to Central, but it was like, all right, you go to Central if you didn't get a scholarship, full ride anywhere else, kind of thing like that. Like it literally was like that. Like they weren't paying for it,
hmm
uh, you know, because I was like, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a football scholarship. You know, da 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 da.
where did you think you might have be going at that time period other than Central?
So I wanted to go to black college. I did want to go to black college, but I wanted to go to like a big one because I wanted to do chemistry. I want to do like a good science program, that kind of thing, because I was always science.
You
So,
knew that out of high school, you were already gonna lock in on chemistry.
well, yeah, like so again, the preparation, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, so my dad in you know in his working travels, my father had a lot of jobs, but his main job was preacher.
Hmm.
But he had a lot of jobs in between there though, while he was preaching. So he sold cars, he sold furniture, um, worked at a cable company. Um, well, just a lot of different jobs. But in that, that's why I kind of learned some of that skill. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like turn things around and but turn negatives into positives and things like that. That's what I kind of mean. But uh, that also had an influence in me. You know, not being able to get the student loans that everybody
Hmm.
else did. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because my sisters, you know, just 6 years before me, what I'm saying, they were just in school, student loans, uh, some from Central, other one went to North Carolina State. And, again, my plan was to, go outside of outside of, the state. So, back to my father and his jobs and me in chemistry. Um, One of the jobs that he had was with DuPont, you know, working on semiconductors and those kinds of things. And, you know, he did that for like a while when I was very, very small. But in doing that, like, he sparked a real big interest in me. I mean, in me, with, you know, the periodic table for real, for real. Um,
Mm.
yeah, like the metals and all that kind of different stuff with
Like,
semiconductors.
what was that when you say periodic table? I gotta admit, as a kid, just the shape of it and the letters and the numbers in the corners, I was always sort of fascinated by it. But like, what was it that like drew your attention to the periodic table? Like, what was it that really captured the?
It was just the fact that it was like real. There were real elements, things you could touch,
Mm.
and then they had like like a breakdown form, like a chemical breakdown. I mean, not necessarily a chemical breakdown, but an atomic breakdown of it. You know, and just looking at it, like it was just like real. It was just like it just spoke out to me for whatever reason, and
Mm.
and that sparked my again sparked the interest in science and doing that kind of stuff. And I was just locked in on science for from a long time early on, like even in middle school, like when we
Yeah, but I say, hold up,
talk
hold
about
up.
middle
Did you
school.
you went to Rogers Her too, right?
I went to Rogers Sir. Yep.
Did you do MSCN at Rogers
Yep.
Her?
I did MSCN everywhere. I did MSCN at Rogers Sir. I did MSCN at Githens.
Word, word.
I was still trying to do. I did MSCN as long as they had it at or at least as long as I knew they had it at Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it kind of got a little wonky when I got to high school with MSCN, but and just explaining MSCN, if anybody's listening for this, if it still exists, shout out to MSCN. Honk that horn for MSCN, bro, because
Yeah, and MSEN,
yeah, Math Science
math,
Education Network.
Math
Yeah.
Science Education Network. I think they just rebranded it to STEM, if I'm being honest.
I
I think
mean,
now the
that's
acronym.
kind of what it kind of got absorbed into that. But see what it was, MSEN was originally that bridge for black students to get into the math, science, and education networks. You
Oh,
see what I'm
was it? What
saying?
was
Yeah.
that really for? Like that was for
Yeah,
us?
that's what that was for us, bro. Yeah.
MSEN?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what
It
MSEN
was
was
nothing
for.
but black kids. I only went. I did it. I think
Exactly.
maybe at Rogers Her, and then I stopped. I
Yep.
think I
It was
stopped
only
after
it was
that.
only it was only us in there. And again,
Yeah,
it was because it was a program started by a black man. Shout out to Mr. Packingham if he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
yeah.
Hope he's doing well. But it
Got
got
the
started by
knowledge.
him. Yeah, it got started by him, and then uh, he brought it into the schools, and it just kind of shaped itself up into like a club and an elective at certain times, for school wise, and it just it was a good thing for minority students mainly, chiefly, and we would go to different colleges, and like mostly, we went to UNC. We would go to UNC like every weekend,
Hmm.
and what we would be doing at UNC or at Githens sometimes, just depending, we'll be doing like science experiments, doing science experiments, doing math, you know, challenges, just learning different things like that, sharpening your skills with mathematics, science, and then there was like an oratory part. So we would learn how to, do addresses and speeches and essays and things like that. So that's what I'm saying. It was good. It was a good experience.
Yeah, now it even makes more sense that it was for black folks because it don't exist no more. Because like, because these programs, like, we need more stuff like this for the community, and it's like each generation gets less and less of it provided. It seems like, like our parents' generation grew up with skills where you could learn mechanics, you could learn electric, you could be electrician coming out of
Yeah,
high school, you could
yeah.
have a trade coming
They
out of
had
high
shop.
school right
See,
there
they don't
within the
even have. They don't, I
curriculum
don't think
work.
they have shop anymore in school.
Exactly. We didn't have really
Yeah,
but maybe one shop, like we didn't have shop like that in our
like
generation. I know they don't really got it now.
no, they don't. And I remember. Do you remember? Did you ever take Dang, what was that class called? It wasn't home ec, but it was at Githens, and everybody. I feel like everybody took that
Everybody
class.
took it.
Man.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was dang. It was something skills. Was it? Yeah, man. Oh man, I can't remember that class, but
Was
that
this
was a
the one
great
where
class.
you sew a
You got to
pillow?
cook
Was
it.
this the one where you
You got to sew a pillow. You got to cook eggs. All
Yeah,
that stuff. You
exactly.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Everybody wanted to make a pillow.
yeah. Was it life skills?
It might have been life skills. Actually,
I feel like it might have been life skills.
it might have been. I do
I feel,
remember. I do remember everybody taking that class.
I feel that class was. Everybody took that class. See, that's what I'm saying. They don't have those type of classes anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
A
think
thousand
about it.
percent.
Like, eh, just ask somebody to cook eggs now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, who's cooking? You know, they go into Starbucks, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, can't cook, can't even make a cup of coffee at your house. Nobody has a toaster. Who has toasters? You think about
Yo,
that? Like, who has a
yo.
toaster? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like, but
Times are different, man.
yeah,
Like they
I
trained
got
us
a
up to
toaster.
order everything.
Yeah, I got a toaster.
Do you got the waffle iron too?
No, I don't have a waffle iron, man. See, I ain't adulting like that yet, man. See, when I get there,
you,
when I
you,
get
you
there,
gotta have a toaster and a waffle
waffle
iron,
iron.
because who
Right.
wants pancakes at the crib? We want
See, we
thick
want
waffles,
waffles.
man. Yeah,
That's what we
man.
want, the waffles, man. I
So like,
feel that.
so tell me this then. Going, but I've always, so you get real comfortable when you from here. When you're around the same people, um, and then you go to Central, like being a local at the local university. Did you feel like that was an advantage, a disadvantage? What was the overall experience from that perspective?
From that perspective, it was somewhat of an advantage, you know,
Okay.
um, because shoot, I could dip off and go to the house. Um, I could go hang out with my boys if they was around town or something like that. You know, slipping in, slipping out, or you know, just I knew where the local spots were for things.
I ain't think about
Uh,
that. You were
yeah,
always home. So if come back home,
yeah,
you would most likely probably be around.
yeah,
Like,
hours
yeah,
around, you know, that kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah, yeah, and
And
then
you intertwine with Central. So if I come back and hit Al up, like, oh damn, I f***ed up.
No.
I f***ed up. Yeah, that is kind of crucial right there.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was like kicking it. It wasn't that bad. So a lot of people like, oh man, you stayed home, man. I can't believe that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
on the same note, I'm like, I mean, y'all just went to Greensboro, hey, shout out to
Oh
A&T.
man. Yeah, you talking about Durham B.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Greens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this
what I'm
is
saying. I'm like, y'all just went to
Greensboro, but it's
Greensboro.
like it's Durham B.
Y'all just
Yeah,
went to Greensboro. Okay,
yeah.
it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. All right, y'all
That
will
is
be back. You'll be
hilarious.
back. You'll be
Hey,
back.
but when you growing up, going to Greensboro, going to Greenville, going to one of these other places was a big deal. It was
It's a
like,
shot, man. It's
we
a
out of
shot. And
here.
it's out of
Yeah.
there. You out of there. And you know, I feel like somewhat because I did get to go to see my sister at Central. I did get to go see my other sister at NC State. I did get to go spend time at UNC's campus. Um, like I saw the different campuses, you know, in the area that mainly that everybody went to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even A&T. You know, I went there a couple times during just shoot visits or whatever because like shoot my sister in college she went to and Central uh go to A&T basketball game or something like that or just going down there to Greensboro walking the campus MSCN trip at A&T
Mm-hmm.
so I got to have those some of those experiences and
I'm surprised though, as a science guy, that wasn't your.
and
That
see that's
was.
again again like with that I actually wanted to be a doctor, right? So that was coming
Mm,
out of school. I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm going to go to medical school, and I even took the MCAT when I graduated school. I, you do. I probably should have took it again. Not probably. I know I should have took it again, but nonetheless, coming out of school, I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor, and I knew there was a doctor, specific professor, because I had talked to him at North Carolina Central, Dr. Clark, and I think he's passed away now. Um, but Dr. Clark had put like a lot of the black doctors that were in Durham uh, in position to go to medical schools all over the country. Go to UNCs, go to Dukes, and go to Ohio States and go to different, different schools and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got sold with Dr. Clark, but I really didn't know that Dr. Clark wasn't even teaching classes until, the advanced level classes and stuff like that or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, when I got there, I majored in chemistry. And, when I had actually had a chance to sit down with Dr. Clark, when I got there, like officially in school, enrolled and everything, he was a biology guy, and he was trying to get me to change majors and go to biology. Like, you need to be a biology major. Like this person over here, you need to like, and he would, go down the list of all the people that were all of his that were biology
Mm-hmm.
majors. And I wanted to prove him wrong, in that sense. Like, shoot, I can be a chemistry major and, and do it. And, again, here I am. I'm not. So, but shout out to Dr. Clark. You were right, bro. you know,
Oh man, that's hilarious.
yeah.
So
I
so
mean,
tell
that's
me
the
this,
truth, man. It's truth.
from a chemistry versus biology, like I'm not a science guy like that at all. But is there like a natural beef between a chemistry brain and a biology brain? Was it like a like nah, or why were you so, I guess, reluctant to? Was it just the competitor? The
I mean, it was kind of the competitor, and I just don't like changing stuff. Like once I get into it,
hmm,
uh, like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish this. It might take a while, but and I might, bang my head, several times, but I'm gonna finish this thing right here. It's gonna get done, and it's just a tough learning experience sometimes for me. So even at like,
and when you
even
say
as
take a while, what do you what do you mean by take a while?
I don't I don't give up on goals per se. You know, um, some people say, well, that was the past. I can't do that no more. Uh, I don't necessarily like give up on goals. What I do say, okay, what's in my reach, what's in my limits, what can I, um, what can I still accomplish? You know, if something that I wanted, have maybe I missed or um, missed the opportunity, or something in that nature. Maybe you have some type of act of nature, some act of God, that keeps you from doing something, or whatever the excuse that you may have made for yourself at the time, you know. But never wanting to quit on something, that I think that's kind of where that is, where that comes from. Like, all right, you don't want to say you gave up. Just never want to say you gave up on anything.
Word. Word. And so going to Central and like actually just take a step back because the chemistry is one thing. So the chemistry, you always had that knack early on. So you got introduced to the chemistry aspect like early on, hanging with your pops.
Yep.
And then but what about the artistic side? Like were you doing church plays where
Yeah,
your
I did.
pops was
You did.
pastoring or
Oh yeah, I mean, did church plays when Pops was pastoring, of course. Um, that was, that was just a regular thing. Like, you're gonna do the Christmas play. You know, you're gonna do the Christmas play. You the son.
yeah.
So I always do the Christmas play, and then really even before that, I had an opportunity to do a school play. Um, in first grade. And I always remember this, right?
What school?
At Lakewood.
Word.
Lakewood Elementary. Shout out to Lakewood Elementary. It ain't the
Shout
same no
out to
more.
Lakewood.
But
Mm-hmm.
Lakewood's a magnet school now. You know, when I went to Lakewood, Lakewood was a Durham City school. And I don't know if you remember Durham City versus Durham County. I'm about to drop some more history on you right fast.
Please do.
All right. So Durham City schools basically were still segregated up until like 1992, 93, something like that. Like Durham City and Durham County, because the Durham City schools
This is back in the Durham high days.
exactly
Yeah.
it was all black. It was all black, and then your Durham County schools, that's where all the white folks was going to. You know, you had Durham High, you had Hillside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jordan was a Durham County school. What's another Durham County school? I think Southern was a Durham County
Southern.
school. Northern was a Durham County school. You know, um, so again, you had Durham City schools. Again, you had Hillside, Durham High, and then you had that same type of action going on with the middle schools. So that's what Rogers Herd was, a city school, and Githens was a county school until that, integration point. Then
Mm-hmm.
you had, your Lakewood and Forest View. You see
Forest
what
View
I'm
was a
saying?
brand new school. That was a
Forest
brand new
View was brand new
school
school at that time.
at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you
It's
had
like
what was
replaced Hope
another
Valley. Hope Valley was a
Hope Valley. That's what it was. Hope Valley.
yeah.
Hope Valley.
Mm-hmm.
You had Hope Valley, and then you had Lakewood, and Hope Valley was like right down the street from us, but we would drive an extra little further and go to Lakewood. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, hold on a sec. Hey, I'm gonna call you back. I'm in an interview. All right. So you had Lakewood Elementary School. I was there at that time. Like I said, it was like basically all black kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Lakewood was a grand school, I would say. Uh, I mean, I remember. I just remember the floors. Like the floors were like they had this marbly spackle look to them. You know those old school marble like kind of floors.
Right, right. It's like splatter. It's like a white, off-white kind of splatter. But like,
Nah,
did you
man,
go
it
there
was dark.
all your
It was dark.
years?
It was dark. No, I didn't go there all the years. I went to Southwest. Remember, like that's where you remember seeing me at Southwest.
I didn't go to Southwest.
Oh, you didn't go to Southwest? Okay, I thought
Nah, I
you.
did not go to Southwest. I went to Forest View.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
stayed at
So
I went to Forest View. I went to George Watts Kindergarten, and then I went to Forest View
yeah. So I
after
went
that.
to I went to Lakewood for like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Well, half of second grade. I was fighting all the time. That's really what my parents were saying. That's what they thought at least.
Why? Why do you think that is? Like,
I
were
mean, I
you
don't know. Like I had two older sisters, at the house. They used to get it. They used to get at me when I was young, man. They used to get at me.
Oh man.
And then also with that, like I'm a boy, I'm fighting, what I'm saying? I can't fight them, that kind of stuff. And then shoot, I'm at school, and again, I'm at Lakewood, right? All black school, city school, right?
This is
And here
adjacent to the West End, so
yeah,
just
yeah,
giving
yeah,
people some context.
yeah. So, and I'm preacher's kid, you know what I'm saying?
They think this lunch meat.
And it's like, come on, bro. I was like, come on, like I was
Yeah.
like, come on, I ain't wearing glasses back then. But like it was like, come on, and I'd be like, it was a mean mug face. It was like, come on, all the time. So
Hmm.
but it was cool though. It was fun because like I had a group of little friends that we used to kick it, do flips down the hill. If you went to Lakewood, you know about doing backflips on the hill. That Lakewood backflips on the hill down by the basketball court on the way to the basketball court. You feel me? That's what I said. Lakewood. That's what I said, bro. Bro, Lakewood. I had some great memories of Lakewood Elementary playing flag football. We used to play had a flag football team.
Mm.
You know back then.
Do you
But
think? Do you think that like that energy you just talked about?
yeah,
Like I feel like the environment just growing up in this in the Durham we grew up in, you almost had to fight. Um,
I mean, yeah.
Otherwise you were gonna get taken advantage of. Like, would you disagree with that? Like, if you didn't fight, you were gonna get taken advantage of at some point.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree
Yeah.
with that. Like, you know, you were definitely gonna get taken advantage of, or just I don't know. Sometimes I look at you ever watch Gladiator? Have you seen Gladiator?
The movie?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but I definitely have seen it.
Well, not even Gladiator. How about Sparta? 300.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen 300. The
Yeah.
very beginning of 300, where you're watching Leonidas grow up, getting tossed out there with the wolves and that kind of thing. The
Hmm.
pedagogy, when they turn 7 and then they get set in and they have to fight to stay alive, to win and whatnot. That's kind of how I felt about middle school now. Just
Mm,
think about that. So
mm,
like
mm.
middle school through certain parts of elementary school through middle school, you just hey you if you don't you can't run, all your life. You know what I'm saying? But to that point though, I was fighting like that at church. Like I was fighting like that at church with kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
man. I remember getting many a butt whooping at church. And it was funny because they even recorded one time, uh, and then they played it on the church trip. You know, on the
This
bus.
is crazy because I don't remember you being like
I
a
was.
hothead, if you will, right?
I wasn't by then. By the time I got to, by the time I got to like high school, middle school, I had calmed down a lot. I think I got in a fight in middle school. But
Did you take?
I was playing.
Did
I
you
was
get
playing
put in any
football.
programs?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I started playing football too.
Mm,
So
mm,
I started
mm.
playing football, and hey, you can be all aggressive and stuff with the pads on, and then you see somebody who's way bigger than you, and you can't, you know, and
Yeah.
you got to,
You
buckle
going
up.
up against Kenny Rucker? You
You
like,
gotta
oh
you gotta buckle
yeah,
up, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You gotta buckle
yeah.
up, take the ride, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's also like a again that whole mental challenge. Hey, you're gonna go up against some things that are way bigger than you in your life that you think that you aren't gonna be able to come through at all. And hey, you might actually hit that guy something crazy, and you never know what happens. So you
Hmm.
just gotta. That's why I say you just gotta. You can never give up. You
Hmm.
know, somebody's down on the 1 inch line. You know, first and goal. I got a chance.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
I got a chance to take the ball back if I'm playing
Right,
defense. You
right.
know, if I'm offense, hey, we're going to get in. And it doesn't matter. So
would you credit playing sports to helping you get more like discipline and focus in like the school environment? Like, if without sports, do you think you would have been able to have that type of focus, especially getting into high school where the girls are going through puberty?
Man, nah. I'm gonna tell you for real. I'm gonna tell you when I actually started getting recognition with sports, my grades started to go down. And I won't say that's the reason why, but I will say, like, for me, I definitely like started putting more emphasis on the sport
Mm,
and less emphasis on the class, you know.
hmm
And I was like, shoot, we winning. I'm getting strong.
hmm hmm
I'm hitting people. I'm making
hmm
plays. Hey man, I'm doing good out here. Hey, shoot. Hey, forget it. I got the strategy right now.
Right.
I'll catch up with that work over there later. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like literally, that was like the first time. Like I remember senior year. I'm in like two. I'm in AP. I'm in AP chemistry. I'm in honors English, or I don't know, maybe AP honor. I think it was honors English. Yeah, honors English, AP chemistry, and I think that first semester I had the alphabet. You know, I had a E, I had an E in chemistry, a D in English, like a C in social studies, a B in Spanish, and an A in PE.
Had the whole
So
spectrum.
yeah, had the whole spectrum, like dead serious. And I remember there was like I remember my chemistry teacher. You know, she came up to me. She was talking like, because it was like I think I had like a 50 in that like that. It was AP chemistry, bro. Like I had
Yeah.
50 in that thing, and shoot, we was on a winning streak. You know what I'm saying? That first quarter, like pocket, we was on the street, like, hey, we killing them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then the report cards, I remember them report cards came out, and they're like that's how we all like you always get got in high school sports if if the school is really about academics. So that I do think about Jordan, because
hmm
shoot, how many schools had players that was academically ineligible later on in the playoffs? You find out or something like that they was ineligible, and then they get a game taken away or something like that, or
Yep.
those kind of things. Or shoot, you got people that's really like wasn't supposed to be playing the whole season, and they out there dressed. But hey, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And again, if the coaches really wanted to win, it wouldn't have been a problem. They would have worked it out, made some things happen. But
hmm
again, the school is academics based, and I appreciate that um, because I got those grades. I had to go to study hall with the teacher and all this other stuff, and then I had to. I mean, shoot, I locked in with the chemistry again, and still made it to football practice and still trying to learn that balance and things like that. But it really was for me. I knew somewhat at that point, that either it was like I'm either have to really be like athletic or go into athletics or academics. And I even wanted to play. I did football at Central when I got there my freshman year. Walked on, did the walk on trials and stuff like that, and uh, like talked to the coaches the spring of my senior year um, at Jordan, and they were like, "Come on through," and I was working out with the team in the fall, and you know, going to practice. I won't like practicing, but I was just going, like watching practice and that kind of thing. Um, but just mainly workouts. And then in the spring, did spring ball. And again, grades kind of, dipped off a little bit. And then I wanted to pledge, and it was just like, it was a lot of stuff. But football and academics and that kind of stuff just kind of like fell off to the wayside. But and again, just bringing that back to the earlier conversation, um, that was also the influence on me going to Central as well. Was because hey, I had the opportunity to talk to the coaches and went out
Hmm.
there, and I had got a scholarship offer from Livingstone College, but as my uncle said, Livingstone barely keep the doors open. So
Old heads
you
gonna
know,
tell it like it is, man. They
that's what I'm saying.
go,
So
oh man.
I know Livingstone went up and down with accreditation, issues, in the past
Yeah,
few years. You know what I'm saying? But I think they're straight right now. Shout out to
yeah,
Livingstone.
yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, and speaking about accreditation issues, North Carolina Central, had their issue with the business school
And
because
they did.
they didn't renew or something like that, something to those effects. So putting it all out there, you know, those type of issues, happen to black colleges because hey, we got to get our stuff in order. Also, but I also feel like there is a certain bias, towards black colleges, and just that hometown college thing, and at the time, really North Carolina Central for a lot of people in Durham, and I think once I got to North Carolina Central, and I'm how I'm talking about it, I really am proud of it, proud of the school. Once I got to Central, I gained a different appreciation for it, and I also gained a different appreciation for Black people in general.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that have had a Black college experience know what I'm talking about when
Yep.
you say, "Hey, um, you really see Black people." Like you don't just see, all right, the Black person from your neighborhood. You see all Black people. You seeing Black people from Africa. You seeing Black people from Ghana, Nigeria, and all that stuff. Jamaica, Venezuela, Panama, all these different places. Trinidad, Barbados, and then you start getting the people from the states. The different states, the different people. Like, okay, you got the Jersey people, you got the New York
Right.
people, you got the the Georgia, Atlanta people, you got the Florida people, what I'm saying, the Miami people,
And even the North Carolina
you got
bubbles,
the
you
North, you
start
got
hanging
the
with Charlotte,
exactly,
you start hanging with
exactly
252.
Charlotte,
You
exactly,
like,
you got
yeah.
the Charlotte 252, you got the that's in Durham, and what I'm saying, that's the cat from Durham, because it might be like three or four sprinkled in there in
Yeah.
little pockets. And usually we doing something like, oh, he playing ball or something, or they're on some team, on in the band, or something. That's usually what you see people from Durham doing. You don't just see them going to school a lot of times. Like they're
Hmm.
there for a reason,
Hmm.
and not all the time, but a lot of time. So again, like I said, you got that side, and then you got people like, me. Hey, you go to Durham, you go to Central, your mama went to Central, your grandfather worked at Central, You know,
Mm-hmm.
my grandfather was a groundskeeper at Central. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Cut the grass and all that stuff
Right.
while my mom was going to school there.
Yeah.
Saying
Wow.
grandfather had a second grade, third grade education. So shout out to granddaddy. RIP. But
For sure.
that's another influential person. That I say kept me out of things because at some point, like really when I started driving and even before that, but at some point, um, I started doing a lot of like chores and things like that for my grandfather.
Mm.
And, eventually that turned to me like driving him around places and, doing that kind of stuff. And, you know, those little things like that. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like priceless. But I guess my question is like, at what point? So I appreciate you sharing the like how you got to Central and that experience being a local and whatnot. But when like it was clearly like an athletic sort of background. At what point do you actually fall into acting and that being
So,
something that you really dive into?
so all right. So when I got to Central, well, even no, before that, I did. We started talking about doing plays and things like that, right?
Mm,
I was doing church plays, as little. Everybody does church plays or whatever. Then this is the story that I think we digressed and I went into a whole nother thing. Uh, First grade, I was supposed to do a play at Lakewood. This is how we got I forgot. This is how I got off. First grade, supposed to do a play at Lakewood. I get the chicken pox. Couldn't do the play. I was hurt because I was supposed to kiss my little girlfriend on the cheek. And I couldn't.
uh,
You and I was like, yes, right. So couldn't do it. And I remember the other dude. Um, I think I remember his name. Started with a J, but I remember him, coming up to me as a little, like, yeah, it was nice to kiss your girl, you know what I'm saying? Something like that.
uh,
Wanted to fight right then. Wanted to drop the books, wanted to fight right then. And yeah, it burned me up, man. I remember that. And sixth grade, I'm supposed to be I'm trying out for the Shakespeare play Merchant of Venice. I don't know if you remember that at Rogers Sir doing Merchant of Venice. Everybody was reading it that whole year if you did drama in that
mm-hmm.
acting class or whatever. I didn't even want to take that class. Um, my homegirl, Ellen Jackson, shout out to Ellen.
Yeah.
She was
Shout
like,
out to Ellen.
take this class with me. And I was like, I don't want to take this class. She was like, take it with me. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. So Ellen, that's like my sister. You know what I'm
I
saying?
haven't talked to Ellen in a minute. Yeah, shout out
I
to
really
Ellen.
really you know, same last name, Ellen Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Different mamas. That's you know what I'm saying. And literally grew up from like before pre-K, like you know, bed, you know, crib. That's my sister. You know what I'm saying? So
Word, word.
yeah. So Ellen was like, take the class. I was like, all right, I'll take the class with you. So, and see, that's another thing. I got sisters from like all over. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
you feel me. So take the class with you. So I take the class, and then they're doing the play Merchant of Venice. I'm going for a part. I really think I got it. Brandon gets the part. Brandon Douglas.
Uh,
Brandon gets the part. I end up dancing in the thing. I'm mad. I'm low key mad. I don't tell nobody, but Brandon.
yeah.
I'm low key mad about this. So I don't. I ain't doing no more drama, doing no more plays, nothing like that. And my pops is kind of like sicing it up a little bit, like, yeah, yeah, son, yeah, we need to worry about that. We're gonna play football now. You know what I'm saying? He hyping it up. You know what I'm saying? So like seventh grade, I remember the director from Merchant of Venice, Mr. Henderson, reached out. He called. He called my house. He was like, "Hey, we're doing Romeo and Juliet. You should try out. You know, at least as a dancer." And then my pops, he was like, he was, at this time, he's like, dancer. You don't no dancing. You know what I'm saying? like, son, you want to dance? Like that kind of thing. It's like, no, I don't want to dance. Yeah, we good on this. Click. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Oh
I
man.
ain't doing no acting no more, man. I'm like, I'm done with that. Playing football. And then, senior year of high school, easy A's now. Cause shoot, I done took AP chemistry. And messed myself up. Got to take this thing the whole year. I got to take
Hmm.
another, elective or something to balance this out. Honors course.
Mm.
So I take honors course. So you got to try out for honors course. Shoot, I've been singing in the choir. You know what I'm saying? So I've been singing in the choir at church, and I was singing at peace at the time in the spirit of peace or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, shoot, I'm good. So get in there, again, honors course. I'm in honors course now. So doing the little honors course thing, singing and all that stuff. And then next thing you know, hey, they got tryouts, auditions for the play, the school play. It's a musical, Lil Abner. Bam. I'm doing that. I'm trying out. I want to be Lil Abner. You know what I'm saying? He's the big muscle guy. Hey, everybody wants to be Lil Abner. He's the man. Shout out to Hope Hines. Al, that's my
Yo, shout out Miss Hines. Yeah.
shout out to Hines. Hey, Al,
A great drama teacher for sure. Just a
yeah, you
great
tried
teacher in
out.
general, honestly. But she was a resource at Jordan, no
Yeah,
question.
man. Yeah, really. Shout out to her. And I think her last name's Love now. Hope Love now. So
Okay.
yeah. So um yeah, try out for something else, basically. So I'm trying out for uh I can't even remember the name. I think Sam or something like that. But nonetheless, come to find out, my man Sam is singing the whole play. You know what I'm saying? Singing and dancing the whole play, like the whole play, carrying the play. You
Hmm.
know, it's just, and then that's what I did. And so, and then in doing that, there was a song at the very end, the last song that I was struggling with the whole time I was practicing, because I just couldn't get the last note. It just wasn't natural for me. And so they were like, just sing and don't worry about it. Just do your best. And then bam, as soon as the play finished or as soon as the play opened up, I'm hitting everything. Never missed the line, none of that stuff. And it was
Hmm.
just bam. I was like, wow, I did it. So in the midst of me doing that, that got me back started. I was like, oh man, I really can do this. Like I knew I could do it.
Hmm.
I knew I was Michael Jackson's cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like, like all of that, like for real. And so I go to Central and I'm playing football. But it's central. I'm in a university. I'm like I can do everything now. Like I don't have any boundaries now. I don't have a coach telling me I can't do this stuff. I don't have I can do stuff. I don't have a teacher saying no, you can't try out for this because your grades are too low or something like that. I don't have that
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Or you're doing too much. You can't sign up for more than one extracurricular activity. That
Right,
stuff
right,
like Jordan was, those type
right.
of things. So yeah, I was like, cool, I can actually play football and I can act at the same time. Because one of the things that messed me, well, I missed my senior year running track because I did the play.
Mm.
The track coach wouldn't let me come out there middle of the season after I finished doing the play, like because I knew I was gonna miss tryouts. And he was like, if you miss tryouts, you got 1 week. And like it was like, if you miss tryouts, you got 1 week, Jackson. That's
Oh
all
my
I'm giving you.
goodness.
That kind of thing, right? And
We in high school, man. Like, relax.
and whatever, man.
Track and
So
field at that. Like,
yeah, yeah. My man, we had opportunity to like my boy. Shout out my boy Brad Savage. You remember Brad Savage?
Savage.
Yeah,
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 Brad. I
Brad
haven't talked to that
Savage.
in a minute.
I mean, like I'm saying, like all like I'll say like the dudes, my core group was like we were scholarship student athletes, you
Hmm.
know, like Rodney Nelson, we went,
Rodney.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Rodney Nelson, Brad Savage, um, shoot, my cousin, Brandon Reed, what I'm thinking, like all like the guy like Brock, like you
Yeah.
have Brock on there, like I can just think of nothing but guys that were good in the classroom and you know trying to make it on the field too. You know what I'm saying? Like even Kenny Rucker. You talk about Kenny Rucker.
Right.
Kenny Rucker was a 3.0 or higher GPA guy, like all
Yeah,
through
man.
high school. Like
With the Duke.
that's what I'm
Got it
saying.
done.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That was always his plan. He
Yeah.
always said that was his plan. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like rode the bus with Kenny,
Yeah.
rode the bus with Rodney. You know what I'm saying? Me and Brad, uh, our families was cool. MSCN, you know, because again, I think Brad's father was like a Army or Air Force engineer or something like that, and like a
Mm.
lot of his brothers went in the Air Force and did engineering and things like that, and he went on. And I think he's doing something like that, some type of computer engineering things, something that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit up Brad actually.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
like, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
hit Brad up.
check in with Brad, man. Um, and and even Rodney. Rodney's a firefighter. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Word
but,
up.
but again, Rodney had good grades. 3.0s and stuff like that. Brad had 3.0s,
Yo,
but
yeah, was smart, yo. I gotta
yeah,
admit,
that's what
like
I'm
Jordan
saying.
was different in that instance. Like I felt out of place because I didn't have above a 3.0 at Jordan.
I
Like,
mean, I I think if my grades weren't weighted, I probably wouldn't have had you know a 3.0 or anything like that. I mean, I think I probably had graduated like a 3.4, 3.5 or something, but that was like the weighted. But the unweighted was like a 3.9. I mean, a 2.9 or something like that.
no, my
Where it's
weighted,
supposed
my
to.
weighted. Like I took maybe one AP stat class, and
Mhm.
bro, I was so like just ignorant. Like I took the AP class because I knew I could get a D and get a B. I said, yo, if I pass this, I got a B.
Hey, it's still a B. It's
I was
still,
like,
hey, look,
I'm taking that. I'm taking
look,
that
man,
all day.
look, man.
But like,
That's
yo,
what.
it's this like I said, man, that environment was different. Like just they say like a tide will lift all boats. This is where I'll say, like, if anybody's listening, like try to put your folks in the right environment that's conducive for what you're looking for, because even if they are resistant to it, if there's any sort of like competitiveness, any sort of like pride, just anything is going to have an impact on how they end up like seeing themselves and approaching tasks. It will, the culture of what you're around will rub off. You know what I'm saying? Whether
So,
that's negative or positive.
so to that, like I was saying, like how my grades slipped during that time. Like when I started, like senior year, I got to actually started, for the when I should have been starting, junior year during you know, for an injury. But I'll just, Lord put me in when they supposed to put me in, I guess. But senior year, starting in DB, whatnot, and I just was like, locked in. I'm playing football. I'm a football player. Forget
Mm-hmm.
school. Blah da 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 da. But had that 4950 in AP chemistry, and I was like, oh, I'm still a student. Even though it don't necessarily matter because it's senior year, you're gonna graduate anyway. That kind of thing. It's an AP course. It's kind of elective. Get your D and be out. But they put me on like a little academic program, and for that course, because like shoot, it was like again, I think it was like I think I might have had like a 49, man. Something it was something crazy like
Yeah.
4950 or whatever. And I had to get a 70 the next, quarter,
Magic
and
number.
then get another 70, and then I was gonna be straight. But I around. I got I got an 80 the next quarter, right? Bam, hit him with the 80. And then I was like, cool. So I'm good now. You know what I'm saying? Because I buckled in, whatever it was. I think it was I think we were working on log factors and stuff like that. It was some like chemistry. When you start getting really deep into it, it's a lot of mathematics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of mathematics because you're measuring uh, you're measuring rates, you're measuring laws, you're measuring just different things. That's what the laws of chemistry pretty much do. They are laws and theories or whatnot. They're laws and theories about measurements, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and like how those measurements really just describe our interaction with the physical world. Essentially, that's what chemistry really is. But yeah, go ahead.
And tell like the young, like, because I think, school often gets a negative perception because they say, why am I learning this stuff anyway? Like, what am I going to do with this eventually? Right. Can you talk about just like professionally how you've benefited from studying chemistry and what you've been able to do because you took that route?
So because I took that route, I'll say I've been able to it's opened up certain doors. I'll say that definitely. Um, it's opened up pathways to industries that I wouldn't have even thought about venturing into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even like this what I'm doing, what I do right now, working in the pharmaceutical industry, biotech. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't take the chemistry route. I was taking a course called instrumentation, and the instrumentation class you actually work with different industry equipment, of course. You got your your HPLC equipment, which is well, now high performance liquid chromatography, and you just have different chromatography methods. And chromatography is a purification system, I would say, a method of purifying or extracting different material, whatever you want from different solutions. So,
Mm.
whatever the solution may be, however, the matrix you put it in, your ability to extract it through filtration and using those interactions of those filtration methods to get that product. That's chromatography. I mean, again, like just overarching thing, filtration, big filters, different types of filters. So, doing that in the classroom, you're in a science based lab, and you got all this different equipment around you. It looks cool. Hey, what is this? You learn that, and then hey, this is what these people do in this industry. This is what these people do for this job function. And really, what I come to understand now, being on the other side of it, is the reason why you're learning what you learn, even though you don't use it, is they're teaching you a thought process.
Hmm.
They're teaching you a way to think, a way to utilize the information given for a certain outcome. Um, and again, like, so, hey, me being a chemistry major, we want your chemistry is measurements. All right, so we want you to learn how to measure physical interactions with whatever given. So in that space, in that vein of things, hey, there's a lot of different industries that you know chemists are used in. Food science for industry for a fact. My first job out of college, I was working at Kellogg.
Word.
Yeah, so I was working at Kellogg, um, and I was working in their food safety lab. And I would go around. I would test the raw materials every morning. Well, in the morning when the truck came in, after working overnight shift, but also in the evening. So I checked basically both trucks. I checked the night truck when I first got in, and then I would check the product that they brought in the morning shift. And you know, peanut butter, uh, flour, oil, all those things, get
The
tested,
raw ingredients.
like literally raw ingredients, the salt, the sugar, those things. Like, and what you're looking for, just to give you a little industry background on those types of things, just different. So and actually, this would be some enlightening material for you people who just don't know, don't care, whatever. But you test the flour. You're testing the flour to see if it's iron enriched. Right? We shine a UV light over the flour, a UV lamp, to make sure the flour is iron enriched. Now, how's that iron getting on the flour? Next, the oil.
hold up, man. Hold up. So,
I ain't gonna tell you how the iron get on the flour. You're gonna have to
but
figure that
but
out
but
for yourself.
but what you're saying is the flour doesn't necessarily just come naturally with iron. It has to go through a process to get enriched with the iron.
There you go.
All right, let's
Okay.
continue.
Continuing on. The oil. The oil. The oil that they spray your cookies
And hold on. Before we talk about the oil,
Okay.
and it is a must. So if you happen to get some flour that's not iron enriched, what like why is it why does it need to be iron enriched? I guess is my question.
Let the people who are enriching the iron, enriching the flour, tell you why it needs to be enriched. I mean, if we were able to get it from our food like we're supposed to properly, if we were able to get it from what we're eating, then maybe they wouldn't have to enrich it or put it back into the food. And then
Okay.
here's the other thing again. Like, where are they getting this iron from?
Bro, I ask myself that when I take a vitamin pill and you be reading the back of that pill and you be like, yo, it's got
Where
this,
are
this,
they
this, this,
getting
this,
this?
this. Like, how's all this in this one pill?
Where are they getting this stuff from? You gotta you really gotta think about this stuff. Like, as you're putting it into your body, where are they getting this stuff from? Because I mean, hey, you can separate the you can separate chemicals through chromatography, right?
Mm.
So the same way you can separate, different chemicals and whatnot, you can separate different atoms, through chromatography methods. So let's say your iron ore at an iron factory, rust. It's iron. You just grind it down, make it soluble, and put it in a pill, and now you got iron.
Is that necessarily a good or a healthy form of iron?
I mean, there you go. Is that the right form of iron that our bodies should be taking in? And a lot of things, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta.
Ooh-wee.
These are the type of questions, what I'm saying, that I started to ask myself. Working in this, working in the biotech industry over these years, and being a chemistry major, and just having that mindset of let me look into this a little bit deeper. I'll talk about two more things, two more products that we all ingest a lot of times.
The first was cereal or what? Just iron enriched flour, I
I'm
guess
talking
is the
about
first.
iron enriched flour,
Iron enriched flour.
ingredients.
Ingredients.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
and then the other one is your vegetable oil, your canola oils, your
What about sunflower seed oil?
not so much those ones, but let me see if I have any oil.
Talking about like Crisco, right? Vegetable oil.
Yeah, I'm talking about your vegetable oils, like your Crisco's, your yeah, this one doesn't have it, but yeah, your Crisco's, your your Wessons. Your Wesson, that Wesson oil, that good
The
old
typical
Wesson.
you see when you go somewhere and the food is about to slap, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that oil, they put they put a chemical in it, and I don't know if they were talking about at some point. Uh, it may be, on the list of things to be reviewed or get banned or something like that. But it's a
Mm.
chemical TBHQ,
Hmm.
and I don't know if people have ever seen that, but it is a preservative. They put it in the oil though, so we tested the oil for TBHQ. If the oil didn't have, uh, I think it's tetrabutyl hydroquinone. If it didn't have
You
that
sound like a chemist for real.
compound in it, if it didn't have that compound in it, we had to send the oil back. And again, come to find out, TBHQ, you know, is it's a carcinogen, you know. Um, but it was basically a mandate for it to be in all the oil. Um,
Mm.
you see, what's another thing that we used to do as far as tests? We used to do another test.
Oh, we got somebody saying we got Savin tapping in. Shout out to Savin. He's saying BHT, BTC, petroleum based solution substances. Does this have to do with what you're speaking to here, or is this something different?
Uh, I'm not familiar with those. I ain't looked into them, but they
That's just
might
some more
be.
to
They
tap
might be.
into.
Yeah,
Word.
they might. I mean, I'm pretty sure, but they're preservatives though. Um,
Okay.
yeah, preservatives, additives that they put into the oil that we consume. Um, and so the other thing, I think that's what I say. Two more, right? Ingredients.
But so yeah, you said two more, and you said the oil, but and if it doesn't have that specific thing, you got to send it back.
Yep, we send it back.
Why is that so critical to the equation? Like, if it doesn't
Again,
have that, then what?
it's a preservative. So
Okay, okay, I got you.
yeah, like it's a preservative. Um, your oils over time they do spoil, like
Hmm.
just your regular oil. If it didn't have a preservative in it, olive oil not so much. Olive oil will be straight for a long time, but like those other oils, they start to break down. They start to separate,
Yeah.
and they start to turn into what they really are. A solution,
Hmm.
and that's what happens. So the TBHQ basically is there to hold that bond structure a little bit closer together. So it will be in the linolene oil, the canola oil, and all that stuff that we would use. They made sure it had that stuff in there, but at the same time, like I said, you know, it's a carcinogen.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
let me think of. It was one more thing I wanted to touch on. Uh,
Iron enriched flour,
yep, iron enriched flour, the oil, um,
oils with preservatives.
oils of preservatives, and oh, preservatives. Talking about preservatives. This preservative specifically, polysorbate. We see it all the time, right? Polysorbate. Polysorbate is used in so many different varieties, um, that like you really they put polysorbate in your shots. Okay. Like if anybody got one of those COVID boosters or a flu shot or any of that stuff, you got polysorbate in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Polysorbate over time, it's a known uh, hormone, carcinogen, all those disruptor, any kind of disruptor you want to say, whatever, you know, mass amounts. But again, we're taking it at chronic levels, small doses, uh, through these injectable medications at times, and not really seeing the repercussions of and the interactions that it's actually taking on in our bodies. So, just be mindful with those things. That's why I'm like just talking about like those three things: polysorbate that you see a lot in your food, you know, let alone the polysorbate that you don't see uh,
Mm-hmm.
in your medicines, in your, whatever. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I appreciate you sharing that. Like iron enriched flour, the preservatives, polysorbate, just working in chemistry in general. Like I appreciate like you talked about like some of the opportunities, but like if you go to school and study chemistry and then you go study this type of stuff, I guess what my question is like that mad scientist sort of mindset. Like you have all this information, all this knowledge. Um, like how did you personally, because once you left school you didn't just go all in on chemistry, you also did some continued the acting, right? So like how
yeah.
do you balance?
So again, like, yeah. So, um, when I graduated school, I was still, you know, coming off of like doing, doing college plays on campus and things like that. And then, and I honestly took a nice little hiatus in that. Uh, like I wanted to. I didn't want to take a break per se, but I wanted to, um, get my foot down and get some money,
Mm-hmm.
because my pops, he would always like, kind of come at me like, I know you still like that acting stuff, because remember I was telling you, like, yeah, he got all hyped up when I was young. Even when I was young, he was like, I know you still like that acting stuff, but look, son, hey, uh, I ain't send you to college to be no actor. That was the talk from in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
After
yeah.
after I did that play,
I said back to real life.
had
Like
back into real life. I ain't seen you up there. I ain't seen you to school to be no actor. You know what I'm saying? You gonna major in something real. It's either gonna be a hard science or you're gonna be like in politics or something like that or whatever. And that was what, like, that was dead ass. That's what he told me.
yeah,
So that's really why I went into chemistry, because I was like thinking about, hey, maybe I do theater when I get to school or something like that. Do theater, and then I go to New York, and then I'm gonna be a big time actor. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the plan. Yeah. So that really, like that. Hey, it happens like that for some people. But then, you got some people that get their dreams crushed early, and they say, hey, tap into reality, little. This ain't gonna be you.
facts,
So,
facts.
and what it is what it is. So, uh, I think also me acting now is still, tapping into that. So even after school, when I started trying to get back into acting, uh, I took some like little small, like little theater auditions and whatnot, and then I actually had got some some traction up in Chapel Hill to do some theater at the art center, but then I couldn't do it because I was working. Because I was like, all right, work and get this money, or potentially get some money, act.
Mm-hmm.
So it came down, like, it really came down to that. And I remember saying to myself, like, I really wish I'd have just went ahead and just took the time off and tried to work something out, figured it out and got it. But nonetheless, again, Lord had something else for me. Uh, and I ain't worried about that. Make a long story short, one of the homies got that. Shout out to Alphonse doing his big things and whatnot.
Word.
Um, and shoot, that he was grinding. He was grinding like 24/7. I will say that. Like, that's an NCCU alumni, Alphonse Nicholson, or I mean J Alphonse. They call him, J Alphonse, whatever. In Hollywood, they got new names.
Yeah, you got to get the credentials right. You got to get it right. You got to get it right.
J Alphonse. So, you know, shout out to him, man, because like I said, he's doing his work or whatever. But, like, yeah. So I took a mean hiatus off of that, but I would see like people like him and some other people that I work with in the Durham area, just still grinding. And if you're an actor at all, like you've done acting, uh, like, and really like taking a liking to it, taking a passion to it, like it never dies. Like, it's always one of them things. Like you said, well, I'll do it when the time is right, or something like that, or I'll put it down now, or I'm gonna just do directing or something like that. People will say stuff like that, but they really want to be actors at the end of the day. They still want to be in the play. They still want to be in the show. They still want to be in the movie. You know. And so, like, you have that mind, like, I still can do this. And again, another that's that football mentality. I can still win this game. I can still, you know, it's 2 seconds left on the clock. We down 17 points, and we on the 1 yard line, on our own 1 yard line. I'm like, hey, miracles can happen, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, even when it's like insurmountable odds, I always feel like, hey, something can happen. Um, so, just never give up. That's my overarching thing also.
Mm-hmm.
But continuing, later on, I did have an opportunity to do some work at the in Chapel Hill Art Center, and it was so crazy because, and this is why I say it, this is why I, name drop J Alphonse, right? Because every time I came through those places after that, hey, do you know Alphonse? This is Durham, like, this is Durham, right? Or not Durham, but Chapel Hill, Durham
Right.
too, Durham
Triangle.
too, but the Triangle area, Hey, you went to Central. Don't you know Alphonse? You know,
And for people listening, this, this is this is someone who's well known for his role in P Valley. That's really his breakthrough role. I forget the character's name off the rip, but the character off the rip. I wish I remembered his
yeah.
name on the
Little
show.
Murder, man. Little Murder.
Murder. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Little Murder, man. And shout out to him, NC Central graduate. And just to give a little context to like what you're talking about or who you're talking about when people are asking these questions, like that's exactly like who they're referencing when they're asking you this question. So just wanted to give people that context.
Yeah, man. So, like, that was just a thing. It was kind of like, it was a little bit of a dig at times, to my personal ego, because I was older than him, right? And like, I'm like a year or two older. it's still ego pride, still love again. Like I said, still loved it, love them to death. But it was like a dig to my pride. Like, dang man, I'm older. I should be
He
some
said, "What about my pride?" He's like,
right, right, right. But it's like it was also like kind of like, dang man, where could I have been, or where would I be if I had have taken jumps or taken these leaps earlier. And
mm-hmm,
so for a little bit of time, during my I'll say just getting back into it again, like I was kind of like I was a little depressed, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like I'm like, dang man, I missed all these years where I could have been gaining traction. I could have been, somewhere else and doing these things. But along the lines, I mean, along the way, like of having uh, those things happen, like the acting opportunities, those little, you know, digs to the ego and things like that. I also realized how much I had accomplished, you know, aside from that. Like
mm-hmm,
I had a wife, I had two kids. You know, I was I was working stand up job. You know what I'm saying, doing those things, just handling business, and at that time, and
the kids say standing on business these
that's what
days.
they're saying. Hold on, I
Yeah,
forget what it is.
yeah, yeah. That Metcalf. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was fly. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
but
But now
nah,
the
that
kids say they
says
standing on business, man.
yeah,
That's everywhere.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's it right there. It's
That was fly. I ain't gonna lie.
whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever it is, they do it. But yeah, man. So I was it hit a little bit, but it also was like hey, just keep grinding, just keep grinding. And so in doing all those things in Durham and in that area and whatnot, I got like introduced to a little small company that did plays like all over the country on like different colleges and different things like that. So I started working with this company called Theater Delta. Shout out to them. They're in Chapel Hill area. I don't know if they're still going or not, but it was a little small company. And just traveling again, just traveling and going different places. I went to like Iowa. I went to Texas. I went to Pittsburgh. Yeah,
Iowa.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Iowa, Texas, Pittsburgh. And I feel like I might be missing another place, but uh, just and doing plays. You know what I'm saying? Doing plays that were actually kind of you know directed towards behaviors. So
Behaviors meaning what? Like,
so so we were doing plays on like racism, sexism, you know, classism, those types of things, the isms. So we do that was one of the plays, the isms, and I forget the other one, but it was always kind of like that, those types of things, like just trying to microaggressions,
mm-hmm,
trying to get people to see how their behaviors interact with others, or their experiences interact with others, their behaviors, you know those types of things. And that was actually a bit eye opening, I would say, in just going different places, and really we were interacting with like predominantly white crowds and things like that sometimes, like at big white schools, and for their like orientation days and things like that. So it was that was kind of like that was a cool experience, I would say. Then going from that, um, that kind of gave me more fuel to, try to venture out and go other places and do, bigger things. And then time again, time is always, a thing. So during that time, I'm traveling and whatnot. I could have been in, could have been doing, I don't know, who knows, developing a cure for cancer or something like that, right? So that's why I also give myself, hey, give yourself leeway. You're only one man. You got one life on this earth, as we know. So take your time with it. Uh, you can gain traction just by, gaining experience. You're making yourself better. And so that's what I was like, I had to tell myself during those times also, like as I'm going to these little, I'm thinking little college venues and things like that or whatever, but I'm really like in front of 1,000 people,
Yeah.
1,000 or more people at times, you know what I'm saying?
Great opportunities.
Huge halls. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I had some of those experiences and, you know, and that was pretty good. But, to fast forward things, I said, hey, let me take this and go to, Atlanta. And so I went to Atlanta for a little while. That's where my ex-wife, uh, that's where she, you know, is from. That's where we went down to, and stayed down there for 2 years and whatnot. And I worked on movie sets, and I worked on uh, a TV series, repetitively, and worked on a bunch of different other series and TV shows and movies and things like that. Just like in either in background, like as an extra in the background scene, some, and then also behind the scenes as like a production assistant or stand-in. So I got a little bit of taste of that industry as well. So like that real showbiz industry in Atlanta, like, and then also worked on web series and I had still have opportunities, still got opportunities, and still maintain decent connections and things like that with that uh, side of things in the film industry.
Word up.
Yeah.
And so, like going to Atlanta, and that is kind of like the Black Hollywood, if you will. And I know there are a lot of like media studios in Atlanta. Um, Going to a city like Atlanta, and then like you said, getting these opportunities. I guess, just from like a there's value in getting the experience, but can you live off of those opportunities if you're just doing, say, that level of acting in a city?
If I was by myself, if I and um, I say this confidently, at least for me, I said if I was by myself, uh, living in Atlanta, and just doing really just doing background work, I could maintain a small 1 bedroom apartment, right?
Okay.
But that's me getting that opportunity to work on some set somewhere every day, and that's like I'd have to guarantee myself to get at least $100 gig every day.
Got it.
You know,
That's how the economics of that type of background work typically works. You're taking $100 here, a couple hundred here, and you're trying to piece it together sort of day over day? Or do you get
if you
kind of
were
like a
doing
contract where you know you'll be
so,
there for 5 days, 10 days, that sort of thing?
nah, you don't get nothing like that
Mm,
unless it's like up front. They tell you like, okay, hey, we're gonna if you're here today, we need you here every day for the rest of the week, or something like that. Or if you're here today, we need you to come back every time this person is, working, or something like that. Like they do stuff like that when you're um, either background talent or featured background talent, or what have you. So like
mm,
so how people got crews and things like that. Like they got their entourage, like the same crew you might see in Power, or the same crew you might see in uh, I don't know, name a show, The Shy, or something like
mm,
that. Uh,
mm.
but it's always like two or three guys in the crew that ain't saying no lines or whatever, but they
They
there.
always in the crew.
But
Yeah,
they
they a
always
part of the
but they're
crew.
part of the
Yeah.
crew. So those are actually like feature background talent. That's what you would call those guys. They might get a little more pay bump, because they coming in with the actors and stuff like that. You know, they might be getting, $200 a day, as opposed to $100 a day, like the other background
Hmm.
actors or something like that, because they're in the crew. So it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, I was on set for like,
And that's Tim. That's Gert. That's Tim Gert. That's right. That shout out to Tim tuned in. Yeah, that's Gert right there.
so
So shout
like
out to
it really
Tim.
it really depended, man. Like how many hours I'm on set. Like, okay, shoot, if like really my days were like the longest running show I was doing was Step Up. That show
Mm,
Step Up that they were doing on YouTube,
mm,
TV. So I was working on those shows like pretty much 5 days a week, kind of thing. You do 12-hour days.
mm.
So yeah, so like you do, and it's cool. Like come in at like maybe 6 in the morning. I mean, and I'm used to that. That's the type of days that I work in my professional industry of biotech, 12-hour
Mm-hmm.
days. But you coming in at 10 o'clock. What I'm saying, in the morning now. Come in 10 o'clock in the morning. They feed you breakfast. You know, uh,
All the little corporate benefits, you
yeah,
chilling. Yeah,
feed you
yeah, yeah.
breakfast. They come through with the lunch. And this one I'm and I'm telling you though. So if I was background though, and see, this is the difference. When I was on Step Up, doing 12-hour days and stuff like that, I was part of the crew because I'm, the stand-in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, when this guy is in the and we need somebody to, get the back of his head or something like that or whatever
Right.
for a stand for a scene or whatever, just to get the set, just to get the scene, the shot set, or the shot, what have you. All right, we
Yeah,
got this guy. Bam, back of his head. Put him in the clothes. That kind of stuff.
yeah.
So, or hey, we need you just to stand right here until this guy gets back. And you just stand right there in the scene. People are working around you, setting the lights up, doing all these things, shining the camera in front. Got the camera in front of your face. Don't look in the camera. You know, but at the same time, that's what's going down. That's what they're using you for. And then you
Mm.
step off set as soon as the actor comes back. Team one. When first team's on set. Okay, hey, 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 hey. AJ, great job. Thank you. Hey, come here real quick. All right, great. Watch how he does this right here, this little move right here. Just sit right here on the behind the camera for a second. Watch him. Okay, now do that next time when we do the scene from the other side. Okay, thanks. All right, now get out of here. Like and or it's like this. Hey. You saw what he did, right? Why can't you do this? You know what? I don't even have time to explain this to you. I don't have time.
Oh man.
You're done for the day. You're done.
Oh
Can we get somebody else?
wow.
Can we get
Oh
somebody else?
wow. You can't treat a from Durham like that. He
Can we get
gonna
somebody
go crazy like, yo, what?
like bruh? Like I'm
Yo,
like,
that
yo,
is
hold on.
hilarious.
I'm like, hold up. I'm like, hold on a second. I'm like, hold on, bro. Matter of fact, your man, I ain't even saying his name, but you know, big time singer would come through. He'd do the scene one way at the blocking, and you do the blocking exactly how he did it. Okay. When he come back to do the scene, do some whole completely other and I'm like, what? Yo, hold on a second. I'm like, hold on a second. My man did a whole other thing, and then I get blamed for it. They gonna blame me for it, bro. Like, get out of here, bro.
Oh damn. Gotta change my battery. Hold up. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's take a brief pause.
Yeah, we take a pause, man.
Brief little intermission. We're gonna take a couple minutes. I'm gonna just play a little something in the background for folks to listen. We'll be back in a second. We're gonna take about a 5-minute break and we're gonna pick back up from that story, man, because I got a few more questions to ask about the acting journey and everything, but we'll take a brief pause, enjoy a little quick break, and we'll be back in a second.
Hey, man, you know what? Hey, hold on a
second.
second. Hold on a second. I'm gonna say one more thing before you take this pause, bro. Yo, for whoever's watching G podcast, if you got a business, a black business, local business, whatever it is, kind of business, you need to be trying to advertise your on this podcast. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, my man G. Yo, you got a gym right here, bro. And not only that, these big time advertisers need to be advertising your too. You need to be getting that. You need to get locked in somehow or another with YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Advertising your
I'm not taking no talk back.
Diversify your bonds, my nigga. You know
Facts. Yo,
yeah.
I greatly appreciate that. And
it doesn't matter how you feel.
Everything he said was all facts, man. I greatly appreciate that. We're going to be back here in a second. Stay tuned. Enjoy the tunes. We'll be back. Oh. High flyer. The most high. Smoked up on the cloud, headed to my destination. I don't need no explanation. Do what I want, no hesitations. Fresh, no expiration. Get in mine, exclamation. Hot, out here getting checks. Out in Nairobi, I was smoking the best. Heard lines roaring when I exhale. Had to sit back, think and relax. This is no story, this is a fact. Don't know where I'm talking, go look at a map. And you will see, life is much more than just on TV. Life is some lessons and counting your blessings. We all can do better, I'm spreading the message. Ha!
We've been disconnected, no straight lines on this roller coaster ride. Slow down, We all been feeling tired, so now I live it live, but I'm dying to know what I know inside. So it down. Take it slow, we gon' roll up, we gon' smoke, we gon' go up in the cloud. You don't know us, slow it down. Take it slow, we gon' roll up, we gon' smoke, we gon' go up in the cloud. You don't know us, slow it down.
Slow it down.
Pole bana.
Revolution it. It's not on the TV, not on your phone. Just look up real quick.
Nitakuwa free.
Word up. We definitely appreciate y'all. We back. And first and foremost, conversation been going in all types of just this like quantum podcast. It's just going full. See, I know a little bit of science. I threw that in there, that quantum. It's coming from all angles here. It's just not straight line. Like we're really evaluating this conversation from so many different perspectives. And we started talking about the acting, and you mentioned being in Atlanta, having some opportunities. We kind of talked about just like what those opportunities look like. Is it possible to live off that? What I want to ask is, so there is this Chappelle is quoted for talking about like they make black folks wear a dress, so to speak, right? And then we mentioned J. Alphonse, who's had the role in P-Valley, which if you are not familiar with P-Valley, it is a let's say groundbreaking type of a show. And I guess what my question is, like, as an actor, when it comes to some of the things that I think black men are often, let me not say often, but are asked to do in these acting roles, like, just what's your general mindset and approach if you're offered one of those types of opportunities?
So in my acting career, I would say I've been brought levels of that, I guess you could say. Because it's not like I would say, like, the whole wearing the dress thing. I'll let me just get on that. Actually, talk bigger than that. The feminization. Bigger than that, the feminization. It's just a thing, and I feel like it's a thing that they bring, or they bring to say, hey, even the strong man is capable of getting down with our program, with our agenda. The thing is, what happens is, as an actor, you are approached with the role. You're not necessarily approached with the backlash and the character and that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, with the actual character, like, you're approached with the role. So the role
What's the
is
difference between the role and the character when you frame it that way?
you actually make the character. Like the actor makes the character. The actor puts the character into a body, into a, puts the words into a body, puts the words, gives them life.
Hmm.
You know, it gives that role a life. That's what the character, you know, is that it is the actor's role to give a character, to be the character. Um, and so what I'm saying is you as an actor, you're approached with the role. So you make the character. So you're given these roles and you say, hmm, you're like, it's an opportunity. And again, you're an actor. So you say to yourself, hey, I'm just acting. But as you get into that role, as you start to develop that character, that starts to, you know, filter into what you are as a person, right?
Mm.
It starts to change your mind on things, you know what I'm
Is is
saying?
is this is this is this the method acting? Is that is this is are you like this idea like they talk about Heath Ledger playing the Joker type deal? He was the
Like
Joker
my, my
outside of the
my feeling is if you're any good at acting, you have to go. It has to be method. You have to like
just
kind
be
of
in character,
you have
like
to be.
offset,
I won't say
onset.
be in character, offset, onset, or anything like that. But when you do when you do acting of any kind, like you're taking on, like, again, you're saying these words, and what is it about words, right?
They magical, boy. They are magical.
It's
Like ain't
spelling.
no other.
And
It
sometimes it's in the spelling, right?
yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly.
But what are we really spelling? Sometimes it's in how the words are said.
Ooh.
I mean, we might be spelling a phrase for real, for real. It isn't necessarily spelling the word itself, it's spelling the phrase. So how
Mm-hmm.
these things are coming out of us sometimes are also into getting into us. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. These words, that's why we got to be careful. And so what I say is, again, you get approached with these roles, you as a person develop the character, and then that character, because you as the person developed it, it stays a part of you. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Some of these things, it's not necessarily, it may not be in your everyday life and your actions and things like that, but it gets into your mind. You know what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
might not be something that you do, but okay, now I might approach a certain situation totally differently because I had this experience as this character.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like whether it be good or bad or you know beneficial or not. You know what I'm saying? It's just you as that person. Now you're taking on another mind frame as that character, when you take on these roles. So that's also what I'm saying is, like, when they're approaching you with these roles, they're also trying to get you to take on a different, maybe they're trying to get you to show a different mind frame, you know and you may not be necessarily in line with that. You take the role, as you're doing the role, your experience, now you start to align with those, with that faction, with that, or that feeling, you know what I'm saying, with that mindset. And it's also because you have to, in order to give the story in the right way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
again, like they try to get you, but it's all in how you also approach it too. Like, hey, if you know they're gonna try to get you for real, like you really know, then hey, um, you got to make a personal decision as to how far you're willing to got, and that I will say is that's how I have had to approach, certain roles and situations. So like down in Atlanta, I'm talking about it because hey man, like I said, open book earlier. We was talking earlier. I'm down in Atlanta. I'm taking an acting class. Like a lot of I saw like some well known people in this acting class now. You know, I've seen them on national television and things and doing big stuff or whatever. Same acting
Mm-hmm.
class with them, but they had some of them had agents and things like that. So that also makes a difference too. So in this class or whatever, and teacher, hey, you did a great job. Hey man, I might have some work for you, sooner or later. So he is, giving out auditions, like hooking people up with auditions and things like that. So one day, hey, bam, I got something for you. Hooks me up. Got a show for you, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And, just wait for the call to send you a script, whatever. I said, cool. So they sent me a script. And I looked at that script. I'm like, man, what in the heck is going on in this script? Brother goes into the shower, steamy. Another brother comes in. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what in the heck is going on? Hey, your
Is
mic.
that in writing? Like, is
No,
that like
uh, I don't know. I'm just making up the words right now, but at the same time, that's kind of like that's just the scene of that of that opening act or whatever. It was something to that effect. It wasn't all just, but that was the build up. It built up to that.
Mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what in the heck going on in here? No, I ain't doing that shit. So, I called the acting coach. I'm like, man, bro, you trying to set me up, man? What kind of going on? That Durham. I'm like, bro, you trying to set me up, bro?
You trying to play me, cuz?
Like, yeah, bro, you trying to play me? Like, you trying to play me out of this, bro? I ain't gay, bro. I got that. I got kids. I got a wife, mother. I'm down here like some business.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. You ain't no little boy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so. So yeah, man. So
that's a fact.
Yeah. So like, dude was like, bro, you're an actor, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm an actor. And then he was like, well, figure out a way and act. And I was like, I couldn't say nothing to that because again, bam, I'm an actor. You're right, I am an actor. But I ain't doing that gay. That's why I was like, that's all I say. I ain't doing that, man. I gotta figure something out. So I go to the audition. I still go to the audition. And then go to the audition and then I tell him, I'm like, look, man, I read this role. And, hey, to each his own. But this right here, it ain't for me. But if y'all have something else that I could possibly read for, by all means, I'll read for that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I left, and then they called me back.
Word.
And then they called me back the same day, like an hour later, and said, hey, we got another role for you. You can read for this one. And bam. And I read for that role. And, I did the show. Now, mind you, I still had to say, hey, I'm a gay man on television. And, I mean, not on television, but the web series or whatever. But I ain't had to kiss nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had to get naked. I mean, well, there was a time I did get naked on the show. I ain't gonna lie, I got naked.
You talk about bare naked,
But
like
yeah, like it was a jail, like some jail. And they got locked up, and they strip searched all the bro.
oh my God, yo, I'm not even trying to laugh so hard right now, but that is hilarious, yo. Like
Yeah.
that just sounds predatory, my
Bruh,
it do. It
bruh,
really do, bro.
bruh,
Cause you
bruh,
want to set, right? You want to just a
bruh,
set, just bare
bruh,
taking around other right?
bruh.
Oh
And see
my
how
gosh.
it's I'm talking about it right now because I'm cool with talking about it now. At
Oh
first,
my
I'm all cool with
gosh.
talking about it because I was like, man, yo, they tried to get in there, bruh. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, hold my like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they just like we just got into a big huge brawl for gay rights or some like that or whatever, fighting niggas
Oh
shit like that.
wow.
And they of course arrest the gay.
Yo, that is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
And then they want to strip the gay.
I mean, look, man. Considering the audience, I guess it probably was.
I was in the room by
entertaining.
myself when I got naked, though. I'll say that I was in the room by myself when I got naked, but I was in front of everybody when it was to shoot.
Like how many people are on set while you just have to perform
It's crazy
as an actor just in your birthday suit? Like how many people are just around you, just filming, set, all that stuff? Like,
bro. It
how
was
do you,
like
like how many people?
you got the lighting guy, you got the light guy, you got the two guys on the camera. You know what I'm saying? You got the dude holding the mic. You know what I'm saying? So that's like 4-5 right there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Then, I don't know, you got the director, you got the assistant director, and it's
Like,
just,
as a nigga who is a pastor's son,
yeah, man.
what is you thinking to yourself when you like, I'm
Bruh,
about to go out here and do this for real? I'm about to go
man,
out here
I'm
and act
telling you,
my ass
man.
off.
I'm telling you, man. I'll be like, God, forgive me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo,
I'd be like, God, pull me out
pause.
if I'm dead serious, bro. Like pause, but yeah, I'd be like,
Yeah,
God,
yeah, yeah.
I'd be like, God, take me out of this situation. If I can't see that, it's getting way too deep. You know what I'm saying? Like it's getting way too deep and something that I'm missing or whatever. Just pull me out, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Pull me out of that situation before before the grease get too hot. You know what I'm saying? Or the water
Right.
get too hot. So and like I said, Lord has, man. He has. So yeah, that's why I'm like I said, man, I've been grateful to that. You know what I'm saying? Like just being able to take those opportunities. But I'll say even before that, me taking that show back in Durham, doing a play in Durham. I was doing a play, like maybe might have been my last play I did in Durham, and the scene, the character I was playing he was some type of YouTube personality, like in that light, of a YouTube personality of somewhat, and it was also a mix. It was called the New Colossus, but it was a mixture of a Tchaikovsky play that was adapted to a new stage play or whatever, a new stage reading. But nonetheless, doing the play, and before we actually go into production or the actual, first night. We're doing some scene work, and then this one scene, they're like, my director, they're like, it's a husband and wife. They're like, okay, gonna have you come to the house, and you're gonna shoot this scene or whatever over there, and we're gonna upload it, and it's gonna play in the background, and it's gonna be real cool, you know. And it was a real deep poem that I had to learn and all this stuff, whatever. And they wanted me to read it, and they're gonna film it and play it in the background while I'm doing this other scene. And it was real artistic and cool, so cool. I pull up to the house, get to the house, and they're like, "All right, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. All right, I've got this nice, cute little skirt set, and we're gonna put the makeup on you, and we're gonna put you in a nice little outfit. It's gonna be really cute, and then you're gonna do the scene. Gonna act really crazy like you normally, like you've been doing in the movie. I mean, like no, not in the movie, but like you've been doing on set, and just have one of those classic meltdowns, and we're gonna film all this stuff, and then you're gonna read the poem at the end, okay?" And I was like, "Wait, hold on." I was like, "Hold on, you said a skirt suit or whatever?" "Yeah, it's a skirt." So they brought it out, and I was like, "Nah." I said, "Man, I'm not putting on no doggone skirt." And they were like, "Are you still thinking about that whole, black man?" And I get it.
Oh, they tried to get ahead of it. Oh boy, that's nasty tactics. I just want to say, I don't want, but they're already like acknowledging the
They
elephant.
acknowledge it because
They're like,
they're progressive. You're in Durham, man. You got educated people in Durham. You got educated white folk in Durham.
them wolves in sheep's clothing.
And so in that, what I'm saying, that so they got me a romper.
What's up there, the onesie?
So
Oh my goodness!
I'm in a romper shooting this scene. What I'm saying?
And this is like the male romper kind of just became a thing recently
the
too.
male romper just became a thing. Exactly, the male romper just became a thing. So that's what I'm saying. Even then, like when it became a thing, I'm like, man, these need to get out of these rompers. But then I'm over here like, I was in a romper. That's how I can say you need to get out of this romper. That's why I can say it.
Yo,
I was in one. You need to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? So, so I can say it. A lot of y'all can't say that. Y'all just be looking like, yeah, romper, gay. Nah, romper because he don't know that he don't need to. Romper. Okay. Now, I was getting paid to be in a romper, so that's another difference. So
right.
Acting. I was acting, and I was getting paid to be in a romper. So it's So, even though it was one number like $500 for the check, but hey, check's a check, man. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get that.
But then you think about it, you're like, I was in a romper for $500.
Yo, hey. But like, okay, so like,
go ahead.
In all honesty, right? Like, do you think if you didn't have the approach that you have in terms of, I'm not comfortable doing this, not comfortable doing that, do you think if you were more comfortable doing those things, your acting opportunities would look different over the course of time? Or do you feel like
definitely, because it was just it's there's been roles, like, just you get roles, you get opportunities, like if you just put your face out there sometimes, you know what I'm saying, they'll just shoot you. Stuff will just happen, things will happen. And I've had opportunities and whatnot that I was just like, no, I ain't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was actually about to do a movie in Texas, and I just was like, I just didn't get a good feeling on it, and I got the role, but the guy, it was just kind of, it was weird. It was weird. Like, we were all like in the, like the, everybody that was casted was in an email chain, and we were all working together, you know, at times via phone call on, you know, lines and things like that. And then one day, a girl got on the email chain and sent out an email, like a mass email, talking about the director was a nut, you know. And you know, then the director got back on there talking about nobody is to contact her or this, that, and the third. And then she starts her own another chain with just the actors, and then she starts going in on the director and all this stuff. And then what happened, I was like, I don't know if I'm going. So I canceled my flight. So I canceled my flight. And then somebody else said they were, you know, weren't working with him. He was unprofessional or something like that. And then I told him I wasn't coming out there. And then all of a sudden I started getting these crazy emails from the director. Like, it was disgusting emails at times. Yeah, like he sent me a toilet bowl full of shit or something like that, or like, yeah, or somebody's asshole with like just a
What
yeah,
in the world?
like, yeah, man,
Did he get hacked?
like, did I get hacked is the question. That's what I'm saying. But
That is
nah,
crazy.
that shit was coming from him. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, when the girl started saying that stuff or whatever, and I reached out back to her. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's different things. There's different opportunities. Yes. But I don't even know if that movie, I don't even know if he was able to shoot that movie, you know, after a while, because just, he was weird. Like, that whole situation was just weird. But there's been opportunities, you know, for me to have bigger roles and situations and things like that. And one way or another, you know, it's just not the time, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've filmed things that just haven't made it to market. I filmed things myself that I haven't put out yet. There's like, I've got short films right now that are, you know, in festivals and things like that. But you know, again, it's just all in timing. You know, it really is. That's how I look at the acting stuff. It's a lot of timing and not giving up on it. Really, I mean, whether it's you know, you want to be a director or what, but showbiz is just one of those things. Like, hey, putting on a show, it takes time. You know, just like, I mean, I know you putting this show on. We've been working on trying to get this together for like a week or something like that, 2 weeks, you know, or longer, right? So just getting things lined up and getting things at the right time. You know, that's one thing that's so amazing about, you know, just being able to complete projects and things like that. Um, it's just, you know, the beauty in the timing.
For sure. For sure. And like, I just got one more question before I go to the next thing, because like, we see, so in the news recently, you hear about this Diddy Cassie situation, and it's just another example of these people in media, in Hollywood, if you will, in entertainment, who have positions of power, who seemingly try to take advantage of their power, right? And so I'm just curious, what might be like without saying any names, without saying a location, just what's the most like eyebrow raising thing you might have witnessed yourself in the entertainment industry?
Eyebrow raising things that I witnessed.
See, I like the way you repeated that to really make sure that you hear my question, because that is my question, just precisely. More so things, not that you may have heard, but like without saying names, locations, but something where you were like, I don't know about this, something that you've actually witnessed.
I mean, you see a lot of I won't say a lot. But you see it kind of like as a thing. Offset. You'll see like the different directors at times. They'll kiss the actors and whatnot and stuff like that, and give them nice hugs. Long sometimes longer hugs than you would think, or longer hugs than you would see a man give another man out on the street. That isn't like a long time brother, friend, or relative. And you see like, hey, a guy gives him a kiss every day or something like that. But I mean, hey, you say it's all love, right? We're just actors. Like I'm being dead serious, man. You like, hey, it's all love. We're just actors.
Yo, hey, to each his own, brother. Like, to each his own. I just,
like my thing is again, it to me, I just like to be upfront. Like to be upfront with things. Hey, this is what I is gonna do. This is what I ain't gonna do.
Yeah.
And if we about this work, hey, you're gonna get the best out of me. So, and that's why I appreciate working, doing things on my own sometimes, and just doing things with my people too.
Yeah.
And that's what we also need to start, looking into with these different platforms. Like, you got Tubi and whatnot. I'm still trying to figure out how getting paid off Tubi. I'm gonna figure it out. I mean, have you worked that out? Because I'm like, shoot, you should throw your podcast on here or something like that. I'm just thinking.
I mean, like between Tubi, I don't think I'm quite. I'm not at a Zeus level. I don't think my content will fit on Zeus, but maybe it would. Maybe it would want something
after
a little
tonight,
bit more.
Man. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, but no, I feel you. Like, there's a lot of these platforms out there that seemingly present some opportunities, but the other side to that, as the creators, as the artists on any platform, whether that be a Tubi, a Zeus, a YouTube, a Instagram, it's like, how is it beneficial for me and what I'm trying to build, not only beneficial for their platforms too. So
yeah.
That's always the thing.
Definitely feel you on that. Like, you got to get paid too. Like, and, it's got to make sense. That's the thing.
And
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, so like trying to get paid off of those things, but making those platforms useful for us, like you were saying, and working for yourself. Like, that's also what I saw, even with Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may not necessarily watch or like some of all his shows and things like that or whatever, but what I do respect for it is that it was the entrepreneurship factor of him doing it.
Yep.
Whether or not he had a push behind him because of some of his content, you know, whatever. But at the same time, like, hey, you
You gotta respect it.
can't knock that man hustle for that.
You gotta respect it.
You know, for that. You know, he might want to find his thickest brothers and only the light skinned women, you know what I'm saying, or Taraji, you know what I'm saying, to do his work. But at the same time, he can do that now because, hey, he put that work in back in the day where he was in the whip and doing the plays, you know what I'm
He,
saying, with his mama clothes, you know what I'm saying, that kind of stuff.
his business, his business acumen is not to be really questioned, given what he was able to accomplish, how he did it, created his own lane. Like, you got to give that credit to me. But I think one of the things you mentioned was like the power of words, right? And one of the reasons why I said words are like magic is because I've had my own experience as an artist creating songs and really seeing the impact of the magic of
Of the
writing,
word.
saying things, repeating them over and over and over again, and whether it even be a good outcome, right, or something that you were saying that you didn't necessarily think would ever happen, and all of a sudden now you're facing it and you were rapping about it or you wrote a song about it, and it's like, oh wow, like I actually just set myself up for this, and I didn't even realize that when I was making the song, if you will.
Yeah.
And like for you, like you not only as an artist have committed to the acting, but then you also went down the music route as well and started making music. So just talk to me a little bit about how that became a thing for you, outside of the acting, like why did you end up exploring like trying to make music or making music rather?
So I had started like making music or just really playing around with music, like, personally, aside from the church, aside from the school choirs and all that stuff like that. I started messing around with it really when I got out of school, when I got out of college, like around like 22, 23. And it was kind of like just on some like humbug. Like I go to one of the homies' house who records or whatever, and I just be doing what I do, not necessarily like, rapping and stuff like that, but just like, singing, harmonizing, all kinds of stuff, whatever.
Word.
Yeah.
You was an R&B. You thought you was like Boys the Men type joint coming in with the harmonies, or
Nah, man, not even like that. Just like I come up with hooks, freestyle guy, saying quick hook, you want a hook? I got a hook for you, you know what I'm saying? Always got a hook. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's always got a hook, you know what I'm saying? But it just one of them things, I wanted to make music different than what I was hearing, for real. Because like I would write poetry and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, you know what, this would be dope if I wrote this, if I could play this to some tunes, make some war music or something like that, you know what I'm saying, like some Black revolutionary music, that's the kind of stuff that I was like trying to do, for real, like I remember I made a song called Black Man, about a black man, it's so hard to survive. Black man, he just trying to stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like some old funky shit, you know what I'm saying? And I remember recorded it, he had that shit down. And I'm like, man, I want to hear that. I want to hear that, play that. My boy, we play that in the crib, that kind of stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Make them kind of tunes. And then my man lost his laptop. So, lost the laptop, and there goes my music career right there. That's what that's what it was at that time. And I'm just like, man, I ain't doing none of this. I ain't recording, just playing around anyway. And then I went to a studio in Baltimore, and then with one of my acquaintances, and I was just there recording, really like recording the session, video. And after I done recorded his session or whatever, he was like, man, he was like, you be freestyling and stuff, man. You should, what I'm saying, get in there one day or two. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right, man. And so I just went in there one day I ain't had no freestyles. I had a bunch of stuff I had written down, like poetic shit. And then I was like, I need some beats. So I just did that. But like even before I went in on that day, I was just like recording stuff on my phone with GarageBand. And I've been doing that for like maybe really like a year or two before I even went into the studio. But I just never really, like, I was just making beats with GarageBand. Of course, everybody be doing it just to play around.
Right.
Just playing around, just sitting there for 2 years, making beats and rapping over some of the beats I made, and just doing that over and over again just for, a minute. And then I just said, man, you're right. I should really try to record some shit. Because I had done that so many times, and, just lost phones, thrown phones away, got new, done that cycle of repeating and never really put anything out musically. And finally I was like, you know what? Hey, man, you're wasting time if you ain't done it yet. So, yeah, so when I got the opportunity, I went ahead and went in there and recorded maybe like really like every time I went in there, I recorded a song. Do like a song every 2 hours, hour or two or whatever. And really, like, that would be me putting my parts down and him like cutting it up and doing the engineering and stuff like that. And like I got music again, just I haven't put it out, things like that. I remember I shot you some of the tunes or whatnot.
Yeah. What you waiting for?
You feel me? So so the other two of those songs are out on Apple Music, Sound.
We got that in the description. If y'all listening, that's in the description.
Yeah, 2 songs are out there. That's Them Ceilings and Last Night. And go by the name of Hondro. I don't know if y'all heard that or whatever, but the only black Hondro around right now. So yeah.
I said, like, what is there like a story behind Hondro or why that name?
I mean, yes and no. So I'll give you the no story. The no story is, yeah, hey, Alejandro, because, hey, you be talking that Spanish. You know what I'm saying? I'll be at work talking that Spanish, for a minute. So, one location, yeah, I was getting called Alejandro, So,
oh man,
Alejandro,
hilarious.
Yeah, and but yeah, that's pretty much it right there, man.
Yo, that's Get hilarious, yo. Hondro, like, I
Yeah,
never would have guessed that's where it derived from.
yeah, just Alejandro.
Spanish Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Word,
yep.
word. Yeah, man. Music, like word, like that's how I know, like, we grew up in that era where like the music, quote unquote, had to be real for it to be good, right? Like if you weren't doing what you rap, then you weren't good, right?
You
And
ain't rapping.
so
That's why. That's another
exactly.
reason why I ain't rap. I don't rap. I sing. I'm an R&B artist. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a if you want to say hip hop, sure. Maybe you want to throw me in hip hop, sure. If you want to throw
Right,
hip hop,
yeah.
but
Hip hop
I ain't no
R&B.
I ain't no rapper. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no rapper.
Like
I ain't no rapper. I ain't drilling nobody. I ain't.
no. We definitely not doing no drill, but like I learned through making music, trying to quote unquote keep it real, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then using that to create these songs that eventually I would make the song. And obviously, like when you're making something, like you're not just gonna like write it and say it once. It's like a mantra, because you're gonna repeat it to yourself, repeat it to yourself, repeat it to yourself. You're gonna record it, and then you're
Yeah.
gonna listen to it, listen to it, listen to it. So it's like this feedback loop
Yeah.
of what you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that from a like an acting standpoint, because those lines are the lines. Like
Yep.
you're embedding these lines in as an actor, you have to make them mean something, feel some, like make it feel some sort of way. And the same is true with music. Even when it's your story, your words, you got to make them words sound a certain way, feel a certain way. But then when you're hearing that, you're living that, it really does like inject itself into who you are, how you show up, and just your overall like disposition, I would say, when you're an artist and pursuing your art. And it's like I appreciate you being willing and open enough to just really speak about the background in terms of like the artistic journey of like how these things even became like possibilities in terms of why you pursue them, how you ended up pursuing them professionally with the chemistry, artistically with the acting, and even with the music. I really appreciate your story because you said it. If there's a chance, if it's first and goal and they got the ball, like I got an opportunity to make something happen. Like I can relate to that mindset, bro. Like I have a similar, like I was talking to Brock, like I said, like an irrational confidence. Like that's what I would describe. Literally, when I was talking, like what you just described is what I'm trying to describe when I say
As
I
long as
just
it's
really
time on the
think I'm that.
board. As long
Yeah,
as it's time
like
on the board. As long as I got breath in my
I'm
lungs.
good. Yeah,
My heart still beating. I got a chance.
I'm good. Yeah,
And
I
that's
got a chance.
yeah, man. You can't be defeated, man. And I feel like as far as like family building, like that's one thing I feel as black men we we need to exhibit, and then
Mm,
also that's what was exhibited to us when we have one in the house. Is just that, dang man, pops get up every day,
yep.
still be going. That should be some bullshit. Like, why you be going there? Because pay for the insurance, and
Right.
because they got the best insurance, and and pay the mortgage.
The benefits matter.
Saying something like that. But
Yeah.
but he really is saying, because I'm taking care of y'all's black. What
Right.
I'm saying, and this is the best way I can do it. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? But we don't necessarily see it like that outside looking in all the time, because we're like saying, man, this person could do better, or this person, needs to, change what they're doing about themselves. That person might be saying, "Hey, this is the best I can do because this is what I'm doing for y'all, for the collective." So, that's one thing we also got to do is not look down on, you know, again, as a people, not look down on uh, the smallest jobs and even the smallest opportunities.
Yep.
Because I did take some small movie roles, you know what I'm saying? I took some small movie roles, and even that took me places. I went to Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, to audition for a role one time, and I ended up going all the way to Pennsylvania, Conneaut, Pennsylvania, to this lake resort, this old I don't even know, amusement park, shooting this
I
short
said
film.
Hershey was it was
It
in
wasn't
Hershey
even
Park.
Hershey. It wasn't Hershey. It was Conneaut Park. It was some old other stuff. And if
Word.
anybody looks up Lake Conneaut, or that Conneaut amusement park, it's supposed to be like one of the world's or one of America's most haunted places or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, that kind of stuff or whatever. But yeah,
yo.
nonetheless, again, opportunities
Yeah.
take me to places, see things, different things. Um, even the smallest things. So, don't look down on small opportunities, because small opportunities also can, give you bigger experiences.
Right.
Like, the janitor at the airport, you know, to the the lunch lady, you know, like everybody got a chance, everybody got opportunity, you know, and everybody's doing a part, you know.
Yep.
Not one person part is smaller than somebody else's. And that's another thing you learn as far as working in the film theater industry. You kind of learn that directly.
Team sport.
Team sports, those kinds of things. Like, but really, like, you see it for real, like in the film industry, for real. And it's kind of funny, like in ways you wouldn't think about it. Like, okay, this person didn't get their meal cooked the way they wanted to. So they're upset. They have a bad day on set. They have a bad shooting day. Director's upset, and the person that made that food, they're fired. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like all these little things have trickle down effects that can also trickle down to you, and it can,
Facts.
and it can it can work in good ways or bad ways depending on how you work it. Like, hey, again, the person that makes that food the way that person that actor or actress want it on a regular, that becomes that person's personal chef. So
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Opportunities. So
Right.
you go from just being like a regular omelet fry cook or something to a personal chef all of a sudden, you know,
Right.
or in that case, you're giving the haircuts to everybody, and hey, just so happens, hey, we need somebody to give haircuts to the main actor, and bam, now you're getting $100, $200 lineups, you
Right.
know, just because you cut this person's hair, you know.
Right.
So that's kind of how
Facts.
the opportunities and things. You can't close the door on small things, because they can open doors for big things too. But you also have to say which door I'm going to go through, which door I'm willing to open up just to see what's inside, and which door I'm just not going to open up at all. You know, so
Right. Word up. Yo, man, you dropped a lot of game, and I don't know if this is the record for the longest pod, but it's up. If it's not the longest pod, it's certainly one of the longest podcast episodes that we've had and a lot of gems. Like you really just sort of like wrapped it on that last bit there, but like I gotta challenge you here because I always typically ask my guests like if there's anything that you want to make sure people walk away from hearing this or watching this, if there's anything specific or any takeaways that you hope they have. You gave quite a few, but I'm gonna challenge you to think of something different right here
I got you,
to
man.
help close us out.
I got you, man. Again, man. We talked about one thing. We talked about my faith in God. So you want to close it out? We're gonna close it out on the scripture.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna close it out on Psalm 62, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. And God is my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength, and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your hearts before him. God is a refuge for us. Selah. And yeah, that's what that's what I got.
I think that's the perfect way to end it. And for all of you people listening, you also need to subscribe if you haven't already. This is the Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and everything else. This is the Podcast. Al, thank you so much for joining. Make sure y'all tune in next time.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
I'm not taking no talk back.
That's what's up, bro.
See me blink yet?
3 hours strong. That's crazy.
Yes, indeed.